Yes, we live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate. Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, you know, a lot of laws now are overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
Everybody out there listening, tonight won't be a long broadcast. I'm broadcasting through my podcasting system, but we're YouTubing as well. Myself and Liza. As you can see, the picture speaks 1,000 words. Sandra Bland. Do not forget her. American police killed Sandra Bland. Texas police, racism, murder. I'm going to run through, or we are going to run through a series of audio, some more of the picture clips to put perspective on everything that has been happening or has happened. You know, we've had police shootings, Stephen Clark. We got the bad news, I believe it's bad news, that the DOJ, Department of Justice, under the Donald Trump administration, did not see fit to charge those 2 police officers, Solomon in particular, who said that he would blow his brains out. He would shoot him in the head. We know that Sandra Bland was driving in her car. She did not commit any heinous crime. Okay. You can say that, oh, she had an attitude. She wouldn't blow out her cigarette when the police officer told her to take the cigarette out. And I'm telling you tonight that I found out information that by law, you don't have to blow your cigarette out if an officer tells you to do so, but not by law. Now, what they do to you, they're going to do whatever they think they're going to do to you, whatever they want to do to you. And I'm telling you right now, this Trooper Brian, who I feel indirectly is responsible for what happened to Sandra Bland those years ago. I really do. I believe that they are responsible for her treatment. Once a police officer takes you into custody, it is their responsibility once you're in their custody, which is what Waller County, Texas police were charged with, the responsibility of handling Ms. Bland professionally. Let me just give some very important information here that will open up one's mind. The death of Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland was 28 years old, Black woman, who was found hanging in a jail cell in Waller County, Texas, on July 13, 2015, 3 days after being arrested during a routine traffic stop. Now, they claim that they did an autopsy on her and they ruled that it was suicide. And ever since then, most of us in the Black community have questioned this, because I'm going to play you clips tonight. We won't be on long, but we're going to make a point tonight. And that point being, from all accounts, Sandra Bland had every damn thing to live for. She was college educated. As a matter of fact, I believe she was going to school. She was positive. And I discovered through my research on YouTube this evening or this afternoon, how many people out there know that Sandra Bland was a YouTuber? She was on YouTube. She was trying to make her way and trailblaze into the YouTube world, such as myself and many other people out there. She was a Black YouTuber. I believe she called herself Sandra Speaks. And I believe I found her YouTube page today, or what was left of it, because they put on there in honor of Sandra Bland. And let me say something. I thought that it was embarrassing. The subscribers to the channel were about 500. I damn well subscribed, okay? She's not alive, but there's an archive of a lot of her YouTubes that she posted up with her cell phone or her phone in the car, where she was speaking some truth to power and speaking some positive things. She was a vibrant sister from what I was able to see on her YouTube channel, looking at some of the clips of her. She had a lot to live for. So when the police stated that she killed herself, I don't believe that. I don't believe anything that these police departments in this country we call America are expressing to us today, simply because there are too many incidents, too many coincidences in which Black people are finding themselves damaged goods by the police departments of this country. Yes, we don't want to commit crime. Okay? Yes, we don't want Black folks going out into the world and doing things that put us at jeopardy. Yes, we shouldn't be running around doing ridiculous stuff that gets us in trouble. Because living in this world, we do have white supremacy. And that does not mean that white people are supremacists or supreme over us, but they do control, as my man Neely Fuller would say, education, law, labor, war, politics, sex, all activities of life. And I want to say to all of you out there, we should not forget our people like Sandra Bland who have fallen due to unfortunate circumstances. Now, you're going to have people that will say she should have complied with the officer. But I'm going to play you some audio clips that shows that she had no, she didn't have to, she got stopped on a routine traffic stop. The police officers could have simply gave her a citation, sent her on the way. If she had have gotten Ruley, he could have given her a citation to have to go to court. Okay? He didn't have to arrest her. And then once they arrest her, they want to tell me and you that she killed herself, a woman who had everything to live for. Okay? A woman that was vibrant, as I said.
We live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate. Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, you know, a lot of laws now aren't overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
My man Lyons Den.
Yes, sir.
What are your opinions about Sandra Bland?
Well, let's just start from the beginning. Sandra Bland was originally from Chicago. She was moving from Chicago to Texas after accepting a job offer at her alma mater at Prairie View A&M University in Texas on July 15, 2013. And the 28-year-old was pulled over in Waller County, Texas, for failing to use a turning signal when changing lanes. She was arrested during the stop for allegedly assaulting a police officer, which that's not the case, but continue on. She was taken to jail in the town of Hempstead, Texas. 3 days later, she was found dead in her cell. The sheriff's office claimed that Bland died from what appears to be self-inflicting asphyxiation, which is, in other words, suicide. However, her family and friends suspected foul play. So Sandra Bland is one of the most outspoken person in social media. She's always speaking positive things to the people, and she's very outspoken. And she was a graduated student at Prairie View A&M University. Basically, she just moved to Texas because she accepted a job offer there. And obviously, what this sheriff done was claiming that she assaulted her, and which is not the case. And basically, you see the video. For those of you who don't know, who didn't see the video, you see what the sheriff did, just push Sandra Bland down, broken her arm nearly. And, and then basically she put her in jail. And unfortunately, 3 days later, she's dead. Now, my opinion on this info is that there is foul play going on, because why would they say it was suicide and she don't have any suicidal tendencies? It doesn't make any sense. So I already know that they will murder her. But info, your thoughts.
Let's go over to the other part of where we're going with this tonight. And I hope this can open up one's mind.
Jinx. 28-year-old Sandra Bland was found dead in a jail cell in Waller County, Texas, while in police custody on July 13th. She was arrested for assault on a public officer following a traffic stop for what police have deemed a failure to signal a lane change. Police have gone on record stating that Bland hanged herself while in the jail cell. Following that announcement, her death has been ruled a suicide by the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. In the days since her controversial arrest and death, details are surfacing that are inspiring intense skepticism in many. This new information that presents inconsistencies in the reporting of her death and the documents of her booking, what was in her jail cell and where it was, or lapses in data like the still unexplained jump cut in the footage from the dash cam of her arresting officer, Trooper Brian Insignia. He's since been placed on administrative duty for not following a proper procedure for a traffic stop. One of the most heavily discussed pieces of evidence is Bland's mugshot. Many are postulating that she was already dead when her photo was taken by police. Here's a snapshot of social media on the subject. A lot of people are saying that there's a possibility that Sandra Bland was dead and then the police took her mugshot. I have no words. The fact that Sandra Bland could possibly be dead in her mugshot makes me sick to my stomach. How do you take a mugshot of a dead person and think people won't notice? Hashtag Sandra Bland. One Twitter user showing a host of other Waller County mugshots compared it to Bland's mugshot. Notice how everyone has on clothes they were arrested in except hashtag Sandra Bland. Now, there are other mugshots of the arrested in orange jumpsuits, but it's not that common. The most recent incidents were for people arrested for sexual assault. Bland was not. Waller County police have yet to speak on why she didn't appear in the mugshot with plain clothes. Some have also pointed to the background of the mugshot, stating that it matches the color of her jail cell floor, while others have questioned the positioning of Bland's shoulders in the photograph, as well as the lighting, with the growing theory that points towards the photo being taken from above her as her lifeless body rests on the ground. As more time passes since her death, more and more questions come to light as the public looks for answers. Who knows if we'll get them?
Yes. We live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate. Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, a lot of laws now aren't overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
Yes, it does, Lions Den. Let me break this down and let me go into the chat room. We have some guests in there. I want to thank everybody for being up with us this late night. Leo Johnson. We got my man, Odd Discourse, always supporting me. Jed, our moderator. Leo Johnson's another moderator. We got African Defender. Love you. Love you that you guys are here with us. I know we keep doing these late night, but we're doing the best we can. Let me go ahead and read what African Defender said, because it's very on point for what we're talking about tonight. African Defender says, Infoman, it is from my knowledge and experience with spending a night in jail, you have nothing in the cell or left on your person that you can use to harm yourself or anyone around you. You're absolutely correct. Let me let you guys in on a little secret. I actually work in the prison system. been doing it for over 16 years in mental health. And one of the things that we are charged with this responsibility, which is why I said what I said earlier. When you go into the custody, you are charged with the responsibility to make sure that individual does not kill themselves. When we have prisoners, inmates, or patients that arrive to our facility or our prison, we are charged with the responsibility to make sure that no harm comes to them under our care when they come to our mental health program in the prison system. Okay. So I deal with guys that try to kill themselves all the time. And I even worked with guys that were condemned inmates from San Quentin, which we have high profile guys on death row there in the state of California at San Quentin prison. And when they were sent to our facility, even though the state of California wants to execute them, we had to do everything we could to keep them alive, even if they were trying to kill themselves. So you are absolutely right. We're not supposed to allow them to have a belt. They're not supposed to allow you to have stuff because you can hang yourself with a belt, which is why guys in prisons don't have belts, which is where a lot of that sagging pants stuff came from, along with offering yourself for sexual, you know what. So they had the responsibility to make sure that this woman had nothing to kill herself if they thought that she was on a suicidal. Sometimes we put people on suicidal watch, where we have someone watch you. So they dropped the ball on this, most definitely. Let's examine something really quick. Lions Den, I want you to take a good look at this, what I'm about to put on the screen for everyone to take a look at. This is very, very important. We're going to look at this picture here. Okay, that's a picture of course, a picture of Sandra Bland. I had to enlarge this picture a little bit, but what you're seeing there is a mugshot, or what they want us to think is a mugshot, because the rumor mill out there is that this might be a photograph of a deceased Sandra Bland. They're saying that it looks like this is staged because, and you heard the audio that I just played earlier, where the brother in there stated that on the mug shots, everyone else had their regular clothes on, but she was the only one that had the so-called jumpsuit that they give you. And the conspiracy theory, and I tend to believe it, is that this photograph that we're looking at of her face, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that we're looking at the face of a woman who is already dead. That this police department, they staged this. I was about to say a you know what word, okay? That this is staged, and I'm angry.
Yes. We live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate. Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, a lot of laws now aren't overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
Lions Den, when you look at this picture, do you believe the theory, the urban theory, or reality that this is a picture of a woman that's alive? Because people are saying it looks like she's laying on the floor. The picture has a look as if she's being photographed from the floor. And I know I know it sounds mysterious, spooky here, brother.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
what is your opinion?
I think that the way I see it, she looks to me that she is on the ground. And the jumpsuit, she's still wearing her jumpsuit. And and I agree with the guy that you played earlier that, you see all the mugshots, you see a lot of people wear all their regular clothes. And unfortunately, with Sandra Bland, it seemed to me, like you said, she wearing her jail jumpsuit, and I still believe that is her. They took a picture of her in her dead body. I still believe in that info.
Because I have been looking at this picture and there's something spooky and eerie about the picture. Look at her eyes. And then maybe I'm grabbing at, straws here. Maybe I sound like a conspiracy individual.
Right.
Maybe real brother would say, you think that white folks are superior? And everybody, I don't care. Real brother is a complete troll. And he's a complete troll, but that we're getting off subject matter. Now, look at her eyes. Everybody in the chat room and everybody looking at this broadcast, if you are tonight, take a look at that and tell me, give me your opinion. Everybody in the chat room, write something. Do you think this woman is alive or do you think this is staged? Does she look like there's something mannequin about her? I hate to use that term. Everybody in the chat room, everybody listening to this broadcast, I want you to write a comment on this broadcast and give your opinion as to what you think this photo looks like or what's going on. Can everybody in the chat room say something? We got Jet. She says, I don't trust the media. I don't trust the media either. It's run and controlled by the corporations. I want to welcome everybody out there this late night. Well, it's about 10 o'clock here Western time. I want to welcome everybody out there in the Facebook world who are listening to us on Facebook Live, and they can see my little ugly mug with my glasses on and the these broken up glasses I got. So what is everybody's opinion in the chat room? Let's see. Jet says fake news. Andrew Toppin Jr. says staged. Let's see what else we got in here in the chat room. My man, Odd Discourse, as I said before, and I think the video that you are playing is from the group Anonymous. They were the first to get me to start thinking that she was actually dead when they took that photo. Oh my God, Odd Discourse, you're on the money, brother. Odd Discourse, brother, you're on the money. Lions Den, the chat room is popping tonight, brother. It's popping.
I see that.
Oh, you can see that. Go right ahead. Well, wait a minute now. Let me, with that said, brother, because we're going to keep this very structured tonight. We're not going to fly all over the place tonight. What is it that you want to add, brother?
Yeah, brother. When you take a picture, when it comes to one, I've been noticing about Sandra Bland's eyes. She doesn't look at the camera. You notice that info? She really doesn't look at the camera. She's just looking like it's sideways a little bit. That tells me right there that to me, she's already dead, because if you take a mugshot, you always look at the camera. You don't look on sideways like that. So I still believe in that. Yeah, she's already dead.
Well, I believe when you look at her eyes, the eyes are, well, what do they always say? The eyes are the window to the soul.
Yeah.
And her eyes look soulless. Something looks dead in them. Then maybe that's just me grabbing at something. Maybe it's me grabbing at something. It sounds too conspiratorial. I don't know. But something about it doesn't look right. Doesn't look natural. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know where we're going in this world right now when we've got, we live in a crazy world. Now, let me show you the photograph of the police officer who arrested her, so everybody can see exactly what's going down with this. Okay. Now, let me read one more time. My man Odd Discord says, here's another situation. If you're never heard of Ron Setters, look him up. They made his death look like a suicide. And then 30 years later, they admitted that it was not but we all know he was murdered. Well, of course, definitely, brother, on his Discord, definitely. I mean, there's a guy named William Cooper who wrote the book Behold the Pale Horse. Everybody get that book, Behold the Pale Horse. And there's a guy, there's a guy who John Perkins, who wrote the book Economic Hitman, and he was told not to write the book or they were going to take his life. William Cooper ended up disappearing. And just so you know, if you do buy the William Cooper book, Behold the Pale Horse, if you can even find a copy of it, you will be on the FBI list when you buy that book, because in that book he's telling secrets. They want to know who's buying the book, because that book is telling secrets. Okay, and he was told not to tell those secrets, because he worked in the government, he worked in the military, Navy, he saw things, he witnessed things, he did things, okay, for red, white, and blue. So with that said, let's get back on point. Let's see. African Defender says she looks very distressed, like she was crying. Oh yeah, she probably was crying. This is a woman, and you're going to hear these clips that I'm going to play. This is a woman that was very vibrant. So I know that something is very fishy. Now, let me show you something, folks. If I can find this very quickly, I got to figure out a way to be able to pop these pictures in here without having to show my little grid there. And here it is. The cop who arrested Sandra Bland was clear of all charges. Okay? And in that picture, she looks dead. In that picture, to me. Lifeless. Okay? The police officer was given a ghetto pass. Okay? He was given a ghetto pass. They dropped all charges on him with one exception, that he could never be a police officer again. So he's not doing any time in jail. He'll still be able to go out and get a job. I'm sure they're not going to ruin his name. And I wonder what was his hand in this woman's death. I wonder what hand he had in this woman's death. I wonder what hand he had in it. It makes me say, it makes me go, you know, like a Senor Hall. Things that make you go, something's not right. Let me play this next audio. This is very important. Listen to this, folks, as I get back into this whole situation.
Okay. How he should have handled that. Okay, a couple things. First of all, there's an antecedent to this video where the second he pulls her over, ma'am, I'm stopping you for an improper lane change. Very civil discourse. He asked her for a license plate, very pleasant conversation right before that. At some point, he's talking to her, and he asks her to please put out her cigarette. I've done that before. And everybody says, yes, yeah. Why? I'm talking to you, and you're... It's disrespectful. It's not helpful. No. Really no. Okay. But at that point, by the way, you don't have to put it out, but it's certainly courteous to. At some point, something escalates where.
Let me stop it right there. Lions Den, everybody listening. This guy was a police officer on this. This was a CNN clip. He was a former officer himself, and you heard what he said, and I said it earlier. She did not have to comply with putting out her cigarette. He said it. But the reality is that this irritated the officer, which made him treat her with further disrespect. Let me move on with this audio.
Get out of the car, which, by the way, is lawful. I can order you out of the car. There are some state laws that go to that point, but the state or Supreme Court law, Pennsylvania versus Mims, I think it was, has said a police officer can't order you out of the car on a traffic stop. So she has to comply. What I think most police officers, I think where you could find fault with the officer, and many people, myself included, not only But at some point, your tone is going to be sharp. Man, get out of the car. And if they don't, you can escalate your tone. And you can, yeah, but that was it, the progression. But again, we don't see in the car. When he leans in, I wouldn't be leaning in the car like that personally. I don't think that's a safe thing to do from an officer safety standpoint. What did you do in the car? Did you scratch him? Did you push him? Did he perceive that as a conduct that was approaching assault? I don't know. It certainly escalated to a point that it shouldn't have gotten to.
Professor, I want your perspective. You've seen the video. I want your interpretation, A, and B, as far as these issues that Dan brings up. Just from a legal perspective, what were her rights in that situation?
I have seen that video, Brooke, and I have to tell you, as a former prosecutor, as an African American, and as an American citizen who hopes that he lives in a free country, I'm horrified by what I see. It's unconstitutional. First of all, the stop. Classic example of driving while black. This African American woman driving, cop is tailing her. She pulls over simply to get out of his way, and that's when he gives her a ticket. Then the asking, put out the cigarette. The cop, your other guess is right. He does. That's not a order. She doesn't have to put out the cigarette.
It's a courtesy.
Yeah, and the reason that he asked her to get out of the car is because she doesn't put out the cigarette. He feels disrespected. Well, again, your other guess is right. There is a case that says the cops can order you off the car, but that's if they feel concerned for their safety, not if they feel disrespected. And then the use of deadly force. Why? We don't even know why she was arrested. At this, we don't see a crime. We see a traffic infraction. We don't see a crime committed. Again, and the police report is a lie. He leaves out the stun gun. He leaves out the cigarette. There's no reason to trust this officer's credibility. I don't think the citizens of Texas are safe with this man with a gun and the power to arrest.
Information is... We live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate. Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, you know, a lot of laws now aren't overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
Everybody out there listening in the chat room, listening wherever you are, Lions Den, what are your words or what are your thoughts about what you just heard? You heard from the officer on this show, on the CNN show, stating that she did not have to reply with the throw the cigarette out. That was a common courtesy because that's nothing in the rule book that says a person has to do that, because a lot of people out there were talking about the cigarette. Well, she had the cigarette smoke. She was smoking a cigarette, right? Well, I did a YouTube video on a sister who got mistreated at a movie theater out there in Pittsburgh. And she had an officer who walked up to her unprofessionally with a cigarette in his mouth, slashing her down to the floor just because she was recording how they were treating these kids. Check that out on my YouTube, folks. Check it out and comment, like and subscribe. Damn it. So everybody out there, I put a link in the chat room. If my man Honest Discourse wants to come on in and join us, or African Defender wants to come on in and join us, or if you just want to listen, that's great too. I hope that it works. I've been having problems with trying to figure out the right link to get people in. I'm hoping that that will do the trick. So, Lions Den, what do you say, brother, before we go into the next area?
Well, Info, this is my question, and this is so disheartening about this. You know, out of all the people that the officer stopped, why stop her? Over a turning signal? And then when he stopped Sandra Bland, he disrespected her by saying, I mean, obviously there's ways you can talk to her, but just all because of a cigarette? Come on now, really? It's just like saying that it's not anything like she's just doing something wrong. And she was threatening the officer. She was complying to the officer. and all she did was smoking a cigarette. So you telling me that basically you going to stop her because she's just smoking a cigarette, or you been annoying that he was just smoking a cigarette? Wow.
Well, no. Let's get this right, brother. He stopped her, which he was well within his jurisdiction to stop her on a routine traffic stop. Now, come on now. Like the brother said in the news clip, black people get stopped by driving while black. Now, we know that he profiled her when she made whatever turn she made, and he said he thought he got one, okay? Okay? He stopped her on a routine traffic stop, and then whatever the other behaviors that took place, what I'm simply saying, we're going to keep it very clean tonight. There was nothing that she did that he should have arrested her. And in the clip that I just played, you heard someone that's a former police officer say that he did everything wrong. First thing he did was leaning in the car was wrong, because he also put himself at risk. Okay.
Right. Okay. Right.
He was wrong. He was wrong for that. Two, he could have given her a simple citation or many citations. What could have forced her to have to come to court. Okay. So he could have filed some type of charge against her in which she would have had to come to court and make her argument. That's what he could have did. She could have walked away alive. He could have went on about his way. Okay. I don't think whatever she did was warranted getting arrested in the way she was arrested, and then later on tell us that she hung herself. That's a lie. So that's where it all goes wrong, my brother. That's where it all goes terribly wrong. And you are 100% right, brother, that he didn't have to stop her. Maybe not. Maybe she did something, a wrong traffic turn, or, I've been stopped by police when I've been speeding or made a wrong turn. It happens. Right. But we know when it comes to black people driving while black, there's always a heightened awareness for cops when it comes to black people and driving motor vehicles in this country. Now we know. Once again, let's keep this in mind. In 2015, let's keep this in mind right here, right now. All right. 28-year-old Sandra Bland, black woman, 28-year-old black woman who had everything to live. They're telling us that she killed herself. I say BS, bovine excrement on that. This woman had everything to live. Everybody in her family and friends said she was a vibrant woman. She had energy. She had zest for life. She was college educated. She was going back for more education. Okay. And like I said, I don't know how many people out there realize that she was a YouTuber. Okay. She was a YouTuber. She was coming on YouTube just like us. She was talking about what was happening to black people when it comes to police. She had critical words to say about those individuals that were provocateurs in the Ferguson situation, people who went out there who really weren't there for Mike Brown, but there to create destruction. She was outspoken about that. She was very pro-black, very Afrocentric in her dialogue, and you're going to hear some tonight before we're all over with. So she had too much to live. This is why it doesn't smell right, people. It smells like rotten, triple rotten eggs, double Aliber rotten eggs. Okay. Okay. Wrong and rotten to the core.
Yes. We live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate. Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, a lot of laws now aren't overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
Information is power, folks, and don't forget that. Let me just say something. The family was rewarded $1.1 $9 million, I believe 2 years ago. The mother stated that she felt that the money reward was a blessing from God in terms of it being God's justice against the Waller County Police Department in the state of Texas. She felt that it was a punishment for them. I believe that money does not solve the fact of what they did to her daughter. I believe that that police department should pay dearly, not just money, but one of the things that people keep in mind, every police department has an insurance policy. If you sue them, like what happened with them giving her the $1.9 million, what you want to do is you want to cause police departments to lose their insurance policies so that they have a hard time getting insurance when they kill one of us. That puts them in debt. That puts them in big time trouble. Now, those out there will say, what are you talking about, man? We need police to protect us in our communities. We can't have police departments going out of business, losing their license to serve and protect. Once again, if they kill us unrighteously, indiscriminately, improperly, they handle us improperly, we don't get no justice, there can't be no peace, so therefore, sue, 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 baby. My other philosophy is that we need to infiltrate ourselves onto these jury pools. We need to get it. We need, a lot of us like to get out of serving jury duty. We need to get on that jury. We need to be a spook that sits next to the door. We need to coon our way onto the jury if we have to. I mean, mom's apple pie, red, white, and blue. Oh yes, I love it. If I was on a jury and it was a case where it had to do with a black man or black woman that's being unjustly treated wrongly in the court of justice, I'm going to coon my way onto the jury and I'm going to say all the things I have to say. I love this country. America's great. Yes, Lord. I voted for Donald Trump. So I can get on that jury and execute the justice. Now, we did that one time in this country. We just did it for the wrong black person. We did it for that coon OJ. Okay. Who never wanted to be black. So that's what that was in the OJ case. That was black folks infiltrating the jury pool in Los Angeles, okay, California, and they gave poetic justice, because OJ Simpson, I'm beginning to think that the Negro is as guilty as sin. I'm beginning to think he's as guilty as a drop of glass of water in the morning, baby. Now, I could be wrong, but he's such a coon. And so we gave that coon amnesty and infiltrating that jury pool. And that's what we have to do to set the balance even. Because we know in America, a black woman, a black man, we do not get a jury of our own peers. Now, I'm telling you, we don't. And so they got rewarded in $1.9 million. And I hope that that hurt the general fund of the police department so bad. So bad. Let's hear. Now, black people are so spiritual. We're so spiritual for our own. We're so spiritual for our own good. You're going to hear the mother talk about God and Jesus, and we're so spiritual, boy. When something happens to us, we get into that religious talk, which I personally think we need to get away from, because if you kill my family member, I'm coming for your ass. I'm not going to be talking all that spiritual hymn talk. I'm going to say straight up, the police department of whatever police department, you're going to pay. And yes, they did pay in this situation in terms of monetary value. Here we go.
Joy, pure joy, because God did that. That is what I tell everybody today. It's joy, overwhelming joy, because the victory is for mothers across the country. Not just Sandy, not just me, mothers and families across the country.
Is there a sense of justice for you on a day like this?
There's a sense of God's justice for me, because you know what? Our justice and God's justice are two different things. And from the onset, I said, okay, This is not just about Sandy. It's not just about me. It is about every mother that doesn't have a voice. It is about every family that has had a loss. And I gotta tell you, it's fantastic to know that now somebody somewhere can probably come out of the valley that they've been in, because they can continue the fight, thinking and hoping that they will probably get some semblance of what the world sees as justice and what God has shown as his justice.
Information is power. Lion's Den, any words you want to add to what you heard the mother of Sandra Bland state?
Yes. Basically, you know, the mother, I mean, she's basically, I'm going to tell you like this, $1.9 million, in my opinion, won't bring Sandra Bland back, but it will bring justice, hopefully, to send a message to police officers, you will not ever do that again. But info, I'm just basically saying that hopefully, which I'm just concerned that how many more unarmed black men and women will be killed just to, you know, basically send a message. And remember, info, and I'm not going to change the subject, but I will say this, that remember the FBI statistic, and I want all the listeners to listen to this too. The FBI statistics in 2006 said that the white supremacist groups want to infiltrate police departments across the country. And I totally agree with you on one thing, that we do need to be on the jury pool. This is very important, because if we want to seek justice for the unjustly, we definitely want to be in the jury pool. I agree with you on that, info.
Definitely. Now, with that said, this is very important. I'm going to play some clips, folks. We're going to be coming close to the conclusion of our program tonight. We didn't want to make it a super long one, but we want to make very important points to this situation. I'm going to play a few clips from Sandra Bland. And this is not a woman. This is a woman that was a YouTuber, an inspirational sister. This is not a woman that was looking to kill herself anytime soon. This is not a woman that was, I mean, everybody has some form of depression, okay? We all go through depression. We all go through ups and downs in our life, okay? It can happen, but she was too inspirational. She was too much into the youth. She was too much into black, unity, connection. I don't think this woman killed herself. I think they did something I think they did something to her in which they killed her. I believe that they killed her by accident, because she probably put up a struggle. I'm just guessing that she might have struggled with them. And out of that struggle, they might have killed her. And in killing her, they panicked. And then they had to make it look like she was still inside there. That's why they gave that fake picture that we were looking at not too long ago. And I believe that something happened where those cops use what we call obsessive force on this woman. Who knows? They might have tried to drug her, to control her, to calm her down. Who knows? Okay. They might have just killed her outright. Black woman's life is not worth that much in Texas. Texas is the South, baby. Okay. They don't like black folks in Texas, even though we got a bunch of black folks who live in Texas. Okay. So something went awry. Something went very bad. Someone effed up, excuse my French, fucked up. And let me play these clips. And I want everybody to think to themselves as they listen to this, is this a woman who was at the brink of killing herself? And I know something about mental health. When I listened to her and I looked at all of her some of her YouTube clips today, I picked out a few to play for you all here. And being in mental health for over 16 years, dealing with people that have depression, clinical depression, that are suicidal, that want to die. I've seen the eyes of it. I've seen the eyes of it face to face every damn day that I'm at work. And I don't think that this woman fits the diagnosis. I don't think she's anywhere on the DSM-5, Access 1, which is the diagnosis, Access 2, which is the behavior or the personality disorder, Access 3, which is the the health issues. XS4, which is the social issues, the struggle, the depression, whatever. I don't think she fits anything on the DSM-5 perspective. And I put my professional mental health feelings on that, professional thoughts on that, and a professional opinion on that. Put my educational shingle on that. Now, listen to this woman.
Oh, my beautiful kings and queens, it is Thursday, March, what is this today? The 12th? March 12th, 2015. And this morning, I heard some bad news on the news.
Let me stop that. She said 2015. That's around the time that she got mishandled by that police officer. That's around the time that this whole thing took place. So you're hearing audio leading up to the time that this happened to her. Does she sound depressed to you? Listen to it.
As if in Ferguson, there were two gentlemen who decided to disrupt a peaceful protest and shoot into the crowd. Yo, this has got to stop. It's got to stop. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? When are we going to get tired of hearing about these things on the news? When are we going to get tired of just hearing about the foolishness and the nonsense? What can we do? What will we do? What are you going to do, King? What are you going to do, Queen? I asked you today, those of you who saw my video from the other day, I did get a few responses as far as some people didn't really agree with my idea of, sending these gang members and drug dealers to the military. And for those of you in the military, if you were offended by that, I apologize. But what can we do with them? We see that they're not assets to the community. They're trash. All they do is cause death. They harm innocent people. And so why not send them somewhere that is full of people that are gung-ho as them to fight? But fight for a cause. We have to have a reason. We got to wake up and learn our value. We are so valuable to this country, to this nation as a whole, but we will never succeed and we will never thrive as a culture, as a country, if we don't wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee. So my kings and queens, I challenge you today. Go out there, do something great to establish your kingdom, your queendom. Go out there and be an impact on a young prince or princess's life. Hope you all are having a great day. Love you guys.
I'm going to say something in just a moment. Discourse. I'm in the chat room right now. Discourse. If you have Google Hangout on your phone or on your phone, the app on your phone, you should be able to click into it, or you should be able to click right into the link that I dropped in the chat room. That link will bring you into the Google Hangout with us, and that should allow you to be able to talk to us. If it's not working, that means I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with my link, what's going on with my setup. And I know that, so Lions Den, you heard the first piece of her vibrant speech. What do you have to say shortly, brother?
Well, Info, she sounds like Sandra Bland. Basically, she's not sound like she's depressed. She sounds very outspoken. And so basically it shows that, all the stuff, what the media says about her, all this is nonsense. It shows that she is very flamboyant, very outgoing, and she speaks her mind, just like you and I speak our minds tonight, Info. And I'm just basically saying that, the thing of it is that she's not that suicidal type. She's not the depressed type. She's just speaking truth to power.
Truth.
Truth, power, truth to power. Wait a minute. We're speaking truth to power.
That's right. And Sandra Bland is speaking truth to power. It's a damn shame that this woman, 28 years old, I'm a 48-year-old man, she's never going to be able to see she didn't have kids, and I don't believe she was married. And she speaks of having nieces and nephews, and she was vibrant. And this is a woman who never got a chance to have a family, never got a chance to complete the goals that she had for herself academically. Her family will never see her smiles. Those of us in the YouTube world won't be able to see her YouTube channel grow, because I thought what I was able to see on her channel, I thought she had good stuff on there. You know, you could tell she was in the beginning stages of her YouTubing, just as we are. And it's a damn shame. Here's another audio to open up one's mind.
Y'all, so I don't know where to look. Anyway, I am getting ready for bed, and before I go to sleep, there has been something really big, really heavy on my mind, a seed that I feel like God has truly planted in my life, work that he has set for me to do, a message that he has for me to get out. So before I go to sleep on today, January 14th, 2015, I wanted to make this video message and plant my seed of Sandy Speaks. I know my head probably looks a little crazy right now, but the idea behind
Sandy Speaks is her YouTube channel. So this woman had a lot of stuff going on. This woman wasn't trying to die and leave this planet anytime soon.
Is that I'm going to take the situations, the ideas, everything that's going on in the news, and I want to get feedback from the children. I feel like with the police brutality and all of the things that have been going on in the news, you know, a lot of people have been making noise and expressing their opinions about how they feel, and somewhere along the way we've forgotten about an important group, which are the kids. I don't have any kids. I do have an 8-year-old and a 14-year-old nephew. Sorry, my battery about to die. I ain't even got my cord. I do have an 8-year-old and a 14-year-old nephew, and I want to hear their point of view. I want to know what they feel about just the things that they've heard in the news, even though they might not watch the news. Things like social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of this stuff is in it, so they know about it. And I want to get some dialogue started with them. I want to see what they feel. It's time to do something. I am so tired of turning on the news and seeing another story about just foolishness. There's so much craziness going on in the world out here.
We live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate. Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, you know, a lot of laws now aren't overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
Discrimination still goes on, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining us this late impromptu YouTube show tonight. Those of you out there in Facebook Live checking me out and Lion's Den, I want to thank you for being a trooper, brother. We were YouTubing the last couple of days. I know you're tired. Your 3 hours difference back there. I'm tired too. I'm doing this. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm starting to feel it. I'm falling asleep on the couch often these days. But you know, I'm a kind of person. When I'm passionate about something, I go in on it strong. Yeah. And that's what Sandra Bland was about. You can hear in those clips that I played, this is a woman who was going strong for what she believed in. Okay. This is a woman that had a lot to live for. And I believe that the police department in Waller County, Texas, they lied. They did something foolish. They did something fishy. I believe that they put her on, I believe they killed her. and took that photograph of her laying flat on the ground to give it a look. I'm going to let everybody see this one more time, just one more time before we put a crescendo on tonight. Just one more time. Look at this one more time. Just one more time. Look at her eyes. Someone said, I believe, I think it was Brother Andrew, someone in the chat room said that looks like she's been crying. Let me read the comments in the chat room. Andrew stated, I don't know where. Let me see. Andrew, the Queen is speaking facts. He's saying that Sandra Bland was speaking facts in some of the auto clips that I played. We got my man, African Defender, Info, great show. Got a son. I know you got to go, brother. I know it's late. Good night, Discord. Thank you all for hanging in there with us as we get ready to put a crescendo on everything. And anyway, folks, I want to thank you guys. So that's the picture of her. Once again, everybody out there, I believe that she's laying on the ground. I believe they did serious harm to this woman, this beautiful Black woman. And we got to not forget this sister. Too often we forget about the fallen. We forget about what has happened in the past to Black people as we deal with what's happening in the reality of what's happening right now in front of us. Okay. I want to tell everybody out there, please be safe, because especially if you are a Black person, you are at risk in this society. America is a dangerous society. Sandra Bland, American society murdered her. Police murdered her. She was a victim of American society's racism, American society's profiling of Black people, of people that are melanated in this world of color. She is a victim of the institutionalized racism in America. She was the victim of white supremacy, and the reason why white supremacy is real and alive, because she would have gotten justice. She would have not been killed, and you would have police going to jail if there was not white supremacy, because white supremacy is about who controls this society. We as Black people, I'm sorry, we do not control the police departments, the military, the politics of this country, the economics of this country, the education of this country, the laws of this country. We are not in control of them. White folks are in control of them, and they have the complexion for the protection where they can kill us and get away with it, because the cop, the trooper who stopped her, he gets fired, let go. His only penalty is that he can't be a police officer anymore. The penalty to the police department in Waller County, Texas, is that they have to pay $1.9 million to the Bland family, but none of them are going to jail for the rest of their life for what they did. That, to me, is an injustice to justice itself. And an injustice to Sandra Bland is definitely an injustice to everyone in the land and all around us. So let me say that. Lions Den, brother, hang on. I'm going to play something for everybody out there listening.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this society. Thing having to do with Black people, the white supremacists are involved. I mean, otherwise there would be no such thing as white supremacy.
Woo! That's right. I had to play that. Lions Den, any last words before we end tonight? As we get ready to end tonight. Go ahead.
Yes, Info. Sandra Bland's my hero. She speaks truth to power. She's bringing an attention to the people like you and me that say it's time to speak out and speak to truth to power. I think this lady will be missed. I mean, she speaks what she says. She speaks in her heart. And I'm going to tell you like this. Rest in power, Sandra Bland. We will never forget you. And on that note, good night, my kings and queens. That's usually what Sandra Bland always says, and I'm going to say it too. Good night, my kings and queens.
Let's hear her say it one more time.
Oh, my beautiful kings and queens, it is Thursday, March, what is today? The 12th? March 12th, 2015. And this morning, I heard says we live in a country that all they know how to do is discriminate.
Good night, everybody.
Think about it. Our legal system and the way our country is run is based off of discrimination. And so, although, you know, a lot of laws now aren't overtly racist towards African Americans, in a lot of ways they are. So discrimination still goes on.
The controlled press, the white press, inflames the white public against Negroes. The police are able to use it to paint the Negro community as a criminal element. The police are able to use the press to make the white public think that 90% or 99% of the Negroes in the Negro community are criminals. And once the white public is convinced that most of the Negro community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police to move into the Negro community, exercising Gestapo tactics, stopping any black man who is on the sidewalk, whether he is guilty or whether he is innocent, whether he is well dressed or whether he is poorly dressed, whether he is educated or whether he is dumb, whether he's a Christian or whether he's a Muslim. As long as he is black and a member of the Negro community, the white public thinks that the white policeman is justified in going in there and trampling on that man's civil rights and on that man's human rights. Once the police have convinced the white public that the so-called Negro community is a criminal element, they can go in and question, brutalize, murder unarmed, innocent Negroes, and the white public is gullible enough to back them up. This makes the Negro community a police state. This makes the Negro neighborhood a police state. It's the most heavily patrolled. It has more police in it than any other neighborhood, yet it has more crime in it than any other neighborhood. How can you have more cops and more crime? Why? It shows you that the cops must be in cahoots with the criminals.